Everybody, welcome to Get on the Bus. This morning's program is going to be on social networking, and I'll turn it over to Holly and Terry in just a second. First, a couple of announcements. There will be archived versions of today's program, as with all the other ones, on the Get on the Bus website. You can access those both from the State Library site, or you'll see the Get on the Bus on your screen. If you can mute your phones, please mute. Unless you have hold and mute music, and then we'd ask that you don't. Jamie will have prizes for homework turned in. He'll announce that on Thursday, as well as if you get all your homework in, there'll be additional prizes. That due date is April 15th. There is information about PTSB credit, as well as the support staff certification on the Get on the Bus website as well. So a good one-stop shopping. Check out all the information you might need. So now I want to turn it over to Holly Hendricks and Terry Caldwell at the Riverton Branch Library to present their program on social networking.
All right, well, this is Terry starting off, and we're going to go ahead and start with Twitter today. Twitter, join the conversation. Twitter is by far the easiest of the social networking apps. This is Twitter's before picture because as far as I'm concerned, when Twitter first came out, it made a terrible first impression, especially with older people. I just thought it was the stupidest thing. Sending 140 character updates, and you had followers, and to me it was just like text messaging. So it was kind of a letdown in the beginning, but Twitter has really expanded and changed. And if everybody read the How Twitter Will Change the Way We Live article, you can really see how Twitter's really grown in the last few years. So this is Twitter after. So much more than meets the eye. They really spiffed it up. So, anyway, Twitter has become sleek, smart, and sophisticated. Okay, the basic mechanics of Twitter are very simple. Users publish tweets, the 140 character messages from a computer, or you can do it from your cell phone. As a social network, Twitter revolves around the principle of followers. When you choose to follow another Twitter user, that user's tweets appear in reverse chronological order on your main Twitter page. There's elements here, networking, of course, live searching and link sharing, which we'll get into, and also another key element for us as libraries is free advertising, which is one of the main reasons we do the social network. So let's get started. Let's go straight to Twitter. The Riverton Branch Library's Twitter homepage. As you can see, right now we don't have a lot of followers. We only have 5 followers, and we're following 4 people. Yeah, we're big. So when you first get in and you join Twitter, you're going to get a fill out like this. And this is our profile settings. So basically what you want to do is you want to make sure you fill out your Twitter profile completely. You want to make sure you change your default avatar, which means you want to have your logo or whatever on there, like we have our Riverton Library logo. Here we are. So this is the main Twitter page you're going to see when you go to Twitter. What you want to do is go to Sign Up Now. Okay, here we go. So this is your Sign Up Now, and like I said, you want to make sure you fill out all the information. So we're going to go ahead and do Holly on here. Holly, what do you want your username to be?
Just as a side note, Terry, when you are choosing a URL, I mean, this will be the web address that immediately to see your Twitter page. So if it's for the library that you're setting this up, choose something very clear and concise that will seem obvious to people. I'm not sure what our URL is.
Ours is just Riverton Library.
And I think that's a good way to go. And once you've set it, I don't believe that you can change it at all. So that's what you're stuck with.
Yeah.
So make sure it's the URL that you want to have.
So we're going to create this account. Anyway, when you go in to fill out your information, make sure you fill out everything. Like Holly said, make sure your username shows exactly what your library is. Ours is Riverton Library. make sure you change your the avatar, so you can see we have our little library system logo here. So anytime I do a tweet, you can see right here we have our logo right here. And this is our profile page, so that's exactly what people see when they come to our page. They can identify that this is the Riverton Library. So when you're first learning and gaining speed, you don't want to follow too many people. Sometimes you can get carried away with the people you want to follow, which means what tweets you are going to receive on your Twitter. We only are following 4 people right now, just other libraries, and Library Journal is a good one for you to follow if you're a library. They send out a lot of good information for libraries. If you start following too many people, you're really going to get swamped and get lost in all of it. The importance for us here is that we gain followers. So we want our patrons to follow us. So whenever we send out a tweet, they're going to get that information on their page. So, like I just said, the main thing you're trying to do is gain patrons as followers. Advertising is the key here. So you want to make sure you get out there, put in your newsletter that you have a Twitter account. Give them all the information they need to find you on Twitter. You really just need to let people you're out there once you get your account. Another really cool thing they have on Twitter is the live searching technique now. And Twitter is actually the most efficient supplier of the super fresh web out there than other search engines, because it's going to give you the latest, from seconds ago, of what somebody else has posted for what you're searching for. They've made it really easy. I'll show you, if you look at some of the Library Journal posts we have here, and you see the hashtag. When somebody's having an event and they know people are going to be Twittering, they give it a hashtag. For PLA, the library conference in Portland that just happened this last week, they gave it hashtag PLA10. So anytime anybody Twittered about the conference this past week, they included this hashtag right here in with their tweet. So if we're going to do a search,
you can just click on that and it'll take you to all the tweets that were marked as PLA10, right?
Yeah, you can just click on that and do that, but I want to show them how we have the search box over here. So say if you didn't have that up on the screen, you would just type in the hashtag and search it. And so this is our real-time results for PLA10. So anything that was tweeted about the conference last week, you will find in this list. It's really super great. And I know if you read the article, it talked about how they had the education conference and they did the same type of thing, and they, everybody was tweeting while it was going on, and it was really cool. So even months from now, you'll be able to pull this up, and there'll be even new stuff about it. So that's really cool. Link sharing. One big thing people are doing, as you can see on here, people have really found a way to get around that 140-character thing. People are now basically just writing simple sentences and sending people to links so that they can do a tweet that includes a lot more information than 140 characters. So they include a link in there, and that way the person can just click on that link. Let's just look at this one, and it takes you straight to that information that person wanted to put in there. So that has really expanded it. All right. So, and another thing, before we're going to go into Facebook with Holly, but this kind of plays into it. When you get on Facebook, they have a Twitter application, and basically what it does is it links your Twitter account with your Facebook page or your Myspace page or any other social networking page. And that way, anytime you put an update on Facebook, it automatically puts the same update onto your Twitter. So you're not having to run around to all your different social networking pages and putting, new updates in all of them. Everything gets linked up. So all you have to do is update one, and it goes to the other. So that's really cool. So anyway, do we have any questions? I know. Oh, okay. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to Holly.
Do you want to show them name real quick?
Do you want me to go ahead and do the name now? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to briefly touch on Ning. Ning is a website that Sherry found, and it's basically where you can create your own social network for anything. It's a social platform for the world's interests and passions online. Millions of people are coming together every day across Ning to explore and express their interests, discover new passions, and meet new people around shared pursuits. So there's some pros and cons to Ning. We've had our Ning page since December, so we've kind of found out a lot of things about it. It does allow much more creativity than Facebook, and it's a much more professional-looking setting. But there's many more cons to Ning. It's much more difficult to set up. It's not as popular as Facebook. And as we've been finding out, library patrons, they may look at the page, but they really don't want to join and get involved. So let me take you to our Ning page so you can kind of see what it looks like.
The best use really that we have found for Ning so far, it's almost as a replacement for the blog that we had, which was kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Wasn't getting a lot of attention. I believe that we've set this as our homepage now on our...
Yeah, we have. And also our county library system webpage had been under construction for so long that we just thought that we were just going to go in and kind of build something on our own so people had something that was working to go to. So that's what brought this all about. So you can see this is our main page, shows what we're about. We have our hours. We actually give a link to our county website page. All our events are right up front. You can click on the event and it takes you straight into what it's about. And then we have our blog posts here. We have some photos going. So anybody in our library system has access to get into this page, to put blogs on, to put events on, pictures. This is actually where if a patron did want to come and sign up for our page, they could do that. So far, we've had other libraries join our page, but we haven't had any patrons join our page. But we had a lot of fun doing it. It was basically a trial and error type thing. We have some really fun videos on there. We have our Twitter links here. All our Twitters are on there. And then down in our notes, we have new movies, new music, new books. We have a link straight to our Facebook page from here. And we also have a link to our card catalog, to the Wildcat, and to the databases. So anyway, basically, our Ning page, like I said, we hoped our patrons would use it more. It was a really good learning experience for me in web design, but we've found since we started our Facebook page that Facebook is really the way to go. Our fan base on Facebook just keeps going up, and people are actually using it and interacting with it. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Holly.
Here for a minute, get everyone situated. I'm actually going to talk about two social networks today, and they are the two most popular in the United States, which you will know if you read through that giant Nielsen report on social networking, Myspace and Facebook. Myspace currently is number one in the United States, but that's probably going to change here quickly as Facebook is growing much quicker. We have a MySpace page for our teen area. It's not for the whole library. It's just for the teenagers. And that's probably been in effect since 2007. Yeah, that's when I came to work here at the library, and that was one of my first projects was creating this MySpace page. It's been a great success for us with the teens. It's a good way to interact, get out information. Lots of things you can do with it, and I will show you that here in just a second. One of the main things I wanted everyone to get from the Nielsen report was kind of the demographics of Facebook versus MySpace. Facebook is older. It has an older demographic. The fastest growing group on Facebook is like the 54 to the 65 demographic, somewhere in there. So older people who have never used social networking before in their lives are finding that Facebook is attractive to them because of how easy it is to use. Watch me so I can get this right. Myspace is younger than, also tends to have lower socioeconomic groups and more minorities. As a library, looking at Myspace versus Facebook, I think that Facebook is a better choice for the overall library, but that would depend on where you're at, what your patrons are using. That could be different for your area. So this is what we see when we log into our Facebook page or Myspace page. One really nice thing about it, especially since this is for teenagers, is that we have it set up. You can see in my alerts box down here that I have a comment for approval. None of our friends can post any comments on our page except that I approve them first, which is nice. We have sometimes teens who want to post their phone numbers for various reasons or other inappropriate things. So that way it doesn't go up except that I've seen it and approved it already. You can see here, this is kind of a news feed. They call it a stream. This is a fairly new feature for Myspace. As Facebook became more and more serious competition for them, it's been interesting to watch them adapt some of the more popular features from Facebook, and this is definitely one of them. So in your stream here, you're going to see updates, new bulletins, videos that people have posted. You can see here, Steve Niles, it's got a little T here. That means that he actually Twittered that, and because his MySpace and Twitter accounts are connected, it went right to his MySpace, which is what Terry was talking about earlier. Here, I'll just show you our page. The nice thing about MySpace is that it's so more customizable, and I think that's a big reason that it's more popular with younger users. Teens love that self-expression. And MySpace is a great way to do that. Like you can see here, we have our layout, which would be the background and the colors and stuff. There are a million different profile layouts that you can choose from. So almost no two MySpace pages are going to look the same. Here we have our blog. You can see the links to our photos. This little calendar is actually a really great thing. It's just an application, but you can access to it. So you see here we've got a note for next month. The library will be closed. A good way to get out information like that. This is a little slideshow of a game night that we did several months ago. Something else that's really cool about MySpace is you can see here, this is an older flyer. I just left it up for the purpose of showing you guys. But we have a photo bucket account. So this is actually the physical flyer that I made for the posters that were up around the library. I uploaded that image to Photo Bucket, and now it's right there on my MySpace page. Also, we can post thumbnails of new books, videos. You can see our friends down here. Yep. Pros and cons of MySpace. Like I said, MySpace is more customizable. We have a music player down here somewhere, and that's another feature that's really popular with teenagers, younger people. The bad things about MySpace are it is less user-friendly. I don't think it's as complicated as Ning. I wasn't really a part of setting up our Ning page, but I watched Terry go through it, and it was quite a process. And there's a lot to learn about MySpace, too, but I don't think it's as difficult as Ning, but definitely more difficult than Facebook and Twitter. And there's only one type of profile on MySpace. Now, you're looking at our Riverton profile, but it would be the exact same type of profile if it was for an individual user or for a band or for a business. There's one type of page that you have to work with in MySpace versus Facebook, which has a couple of options. And also, because it's so customizable, it's definitely harder to make it look professional. It's really easy to have a page that looks cluttered, which I am going to take you to a couple examples right now. of pages that don't look very professional. But I'm trying to pick on these libraries necessarily, but I think they've got some good examples of what not to do. So here we have Prescott Isle Library, and see that they've kind of cluttered up their page with comments and these little comment boxes and graphics, which are extremely popular on Myspace. I just don't think the overall feel of the page is very professional looking. Another right now. Another thing about, well, any social networking is that once it's out there, you really need to make sure that it's current, that you're updating it 2-3 times a week. I mean, it's out there on the web, and it is representing your library. So you want to make sure that you keep up with it. So here's another library. Now, you can see that their last login date was last year. So we're looking at 4 or 5 months ago. They have almost no content on here. It's just a very good page overall. Another mistake that I've seen libraries make, and actually I had an example, but when I went through and checked it this morning, they had actually changed their privacy settings. But on Myspace, you can decide whether your page will only be viewable to people who are already your friends. And I've seen libraries doing this, which is an extremely bad decision to make. When you're a public entity, you want anyone to be able to go to this page, view your content. So that is a bad setting to have for a library. And now I'm going to take it to Facebook. Find the sign out. There we go. Our Facebook page is fairly new. I think we set it up 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, so definitely in its infancy as compared to our MySpace page. Now, when we log in here, what you're going to see is my personal Facebook, because it's connected to our fan page. I set up our fan page for the library. I'm an administrator on it. And so the two are connected. So this is my Facebook profile. Oh, and that's my puppy right there. We'll just type in. Now you're looking at our fan page. It's been really interesting. When I set this up several weeks ago, I invited everyone, all my friends in the Riverton area. I sent out an email to everyone in our county on staff, letting them know about it and encouraging them to join. So we started out, I was the only fan. Terry became a fan, I think, the same day. And it's grown, you can see, into 58 fans. And that's just been largely organic. We haven't done a lot of advertising. We haven't really pushed it with patrons. It's just when someone joins or becomes a fan of a page, you'll see it in their news feed, so-and-so has become a fan. And people just grab that off of there. They're like, oh, the Riverton Branch Library, that's my library. So they click it and they become a fan. It's been really fun to watch that grow. Here in your links box, you can see different links that we've posted. Photos that we have, much like MySpace, but the picture capability is pretty much the same. You create photo albums, upload photos. We actually have a fan photo here. I believe this was from the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, but so fans can post their own photos that have something to do with your library that they feel are related, which is kind of a cool feature. Here is our update box. So when we have something to share, like this is the last one here, you can see, type it in this box, hit share. Not only does that show up on our wall, which is what we're looking at now, but it shows up on all of our fans' news feeds. So they'll be scrolling down, looking at updates from their friends and various fan pages, and that one will be right in there. You can actually see that we've had a lot of interaction on this one. There's a comment box right here. So when we post an update, anyone that's a fan can post a reply. As you can see, the Riverton Chamber of Commerce has been talking to us about this particular issue. This insights box is only available to administrators. So that lets us know our post quality and the number of interactions we've had this week. So you're kind of getting an idea of how people are interacting with you, how much they're interacting, how much you're putting out there. Very handy tool. You can see all of our information, our open hours right here. Got a little blurb and our county symbol. Now, another cool thing is that there are 2 walls for fan pages. This is just our wall. So anything, only us, we can post things that show up here. But if you hit the Riverton Branch Library and fans wall, fans can come on and post things as well, and that only shows up on that wall. So there's kind of a separation, which is nice. But it also gives fans another way to interact with you. I think you can see down here. Oh yeah, that was my mom. Another cool feature of the fan pages is that you can see over here this little thing. I'm not quite sure what they're calling it. I don't think it's badges, but it's something along the lines where you can set this up so that fans of yours can choose to put this on their page. So-and-so is a fan. You can become a fan. We haven't done that yet, but it's a very effective form of advertising, so that if someone is looking at someone else's page and they see this little symbol, oh, this person is a fan of this, they can just click it and become a fan too. It's a good way to get your information out there. Under our info tab, we have links to our various databases, also our Ning and our Myspace page, and our county system web page. And there is more opportunities to put information there. Hit edit real quick. And you can see all of the different boxes and things like that. Photos. Like I said, you create different albums and upload photos to those. And then the discussions page is much like blogs on MySpace, but you create new topics. You can see one that we have right here, which no one has responded to. But it's another good way to have more lengthy conversations with your patrons and fans. Also, and you can't see it because we haven't added any events, but there is a way to add events to your fan page. So if you have something going on in the library, you can click right here and create event and let people know about it. Title, location, all those good things. So, and at the end, you can invite your friends. So everyone who's a fan, you can just automatically send them an invite to this event, which is a very handy tool. Now, something interesting about Facebook is that it actually has 3 different types of profile pages. It has pages for just individuals, which would be like my page, which we saw when we logged in, or you as an individual just went to Facebook and signed up, that would be yours. And then we have fan pages, like we've been looking at, which is what the Riverton Library has set up. We also have an option called groups. I'm going to take you to a group page real quick. And we did not go the group route for several reasons. I don't think it's as effective for libraries. I'll just take you to one so we can see it. All right. Now, I'm already a member of this group, but ordinarily, if you come across a group page that you're not a member of, there will be a little button here at the top that says Join. Groups are much more exclusive than fan pages. You can set them up actually so that the administrator can deny access to people, like you have to request to join and they can be denied. So more exclusive. And the other thing, the main reason that we chose not to go with the group was because as the administrator, it will be linked to your own personal Facebook page. So had I chosen a group, anytime that I did an update on the group page, it would also show up on my personal Facebook, and I don't want to be spamming my friends with all the Riverton Branch Library information. So I don't think it's as effective. The nice thing about it, though, is that if you have a group under 5,000 people, you can send email blasts, which are messages to all of your fans in one go. Type it, send it to them. There it is. but like I said, it has to be under 5,000, and even though that's a nice feature, I think the drawbacks outweigh the positives on that one. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you. What's really interesting and what I'm really excited about for our Facebook page is that, how do I get there? Illustrator on it, that means that I can upload photos, create new updates, change around our information, but you can also have multiple administrators. So here when you see under admins, there's me, and these are other librarians in our branch. So it's not just one person who is maintaining our Facebook page. All of us can get on, children's department, teen department, adult department, upload photos from our events, create new events, do different updates, share links, videos. It takes the pressure off of one person trying to maintain your social networking. I am solely responsible for our Myspace page, and that takes, I spend 2 to 3 hours every week on it, updating it, maintaining it, changing around our profile. It can be time consuming. So it's a really nice feature on Facebook that you can get more of your staff involved and make it a group effort so that one person is not trying to handle the whole thing. Let's see here. The other nice thing about Facebook is that it's really hard to have a bad Facebook. As you can see, all pages look alike. There's no customization possible. You can have bad updates. You can have too many updates. You can do not enough updates. So that would be one way, I guess, to not be using your Facebook efficiently. But it's hard. It looks professional. It's going to look the exact same way. You can't make one that just looks awful because that option just isn't available. Yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything to add, Terry?
No.
Well, you can't see it from our page, like you could on the Ning page. You could see our Twitter box. But again, as Terry was talking about earlier, our Twitter and Facebook accounts are linked. So if Terry goes to Twitter and makes a new tweet, that immediately shows up as an update on our fan page, which saves her having to go to both pages and type in the exact same thing. That's handy right there. Also, if your library is just starting out on social networking, I would strongly encourage you to not use just Twitter, because it's so easy to connect it to either Myspace or the Riverton branch, or Facebook. I think that using it in conjunction with one of those is much more effective than using it by itself. And as far as which you're going to use, Myspace or Facebook, I definitely feel that Facebook is better for a library overall, just because of the demographics of it, the popularity of it, the ease of it. Unless you live in a community where Myspace is really what the adults are using, and that's something that you just need to pay attention to in your own library. Notice what your patrons are using when they get onto the internet. Are they checking their Myspace? Are they checking Facebook? Are they checking Twitter? You really need to figure out what they're using and meet them there. It's always going to be easier than creating this page and trying to get them to go to something new, kind of like our Ning experience. Ning is not very widely known. And we found that people really aren't interested in starting their own Ning page. It's unfamiliar to them. It's much easier to go where they are already at and then get them to follow you. So I think we're done. We're ready to take questions now if there are any.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for Holly or for Terry? Okay, if you think of questions later, you can contact them at the Riverton Branch Library, and there will also be their links and homework on their Get on the Bus page for social networking. Check that out and turn in your homework and be eligible for those prizes, which Jamie will talk about at the session on Thursday. So if no one has any other questions, we'll say thanks, and we'll see you all on Thursday.